Hello, hello, good morning. This is the Space Junkie Takeover. Welcome, everybody. This is a usual Monday show that we are doing, and we have quite a few things to talk about. Hi, David. David is here with me, my partner in crime. Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, hello Szabi, hello everyone. Yeah, it's good to be back again. It's not surprisingly, it's a Monday again.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
we
We
are
are
again
going to
here.
kick off with these two beasts, but let's just show the live screen because I can see some cherry picker actually doing some stuff over there. Can you see David?
Yeah,
What do you think they are doing? Inspection?
just having some fresh air. I don't know.
Do you want to
No,
see the horizon? What's on
yeah,
the
but seriously,
horizon?
I don't know because on this height there is nothing actually on the booster, and that they are a bit far away from the rocket. So I really don't know what they doing right now.
Anyway, they are doing something, that's for sure. Let's kick off we get this photo. Well, it's a beautiful render that's showing New Glenn and Starship because I mean we've been expecting that by now, ideally both is gone. And
In
the
ideal world.
reality, yes, but the reality is that none of them is gone. We are going to start with today's action with New Glenn, and then we're going to turn our attention to Flight 7 and what the heck is going on and when do we assume it is going to be launched. So let's see. We were streaming on our channel as well, and obviously in What About It as well. You could have seen the New Glenn not launching. Unfortunately, we've been waiting out the whole sort of 3 hour window, and sadly, it
It
did
was
not
only two
launch.
hours.
It's two, two,
Yeah,
two, two.
from 7 until 9 in our time.
Yep, you're right. 10, 10,
Really?
10. Yeah, 10.
I don't remember anymore. I'm
Now,
too
because we
tired.
were joking that they might launch it at 9:55. Anyway, I think
Anyway,
it was
okay,
three.
never
Yeah,
mind.
but it was long.
Yeah,
it
it
was
was too long. Yeah, maybe too
it
long.
was definitely long. But anyhow, it was not launched, unfortunately. And the worst thing is that we don't know when it's going to be launched. Sadly, it's not a good looking thing, but we know that
Yeah,
better scrub than rug.
again, this bad icing. All the time, the icing problem. There was a problem with the flight 3 or 2 with the Starship as well about the icing, and
Mhm,
yeah, actually, a venting line was covered with ice, and
mhm,
that's why the high pressure gases couldn't exit from the tanks, and that was actually the problem. And
mhm,
of course, or not of course, but it wasn't actually confirmed original or official from Blue Origin. It was an inside info from Eric Berger.
mhm.
So yeah, that's a bit sad that Blue Origin is not so transparent about either the problems or either the solutions or any outcomes. They
Yep.
just they just have written on X that yeah, it was a problem with some subsystems, and that's why they have decided to scrub the today's attempt, because they started to run out of time, and
Yep.
that's why New Glenn wasn't launched today, unfortunately.
Yeah,
And
very
yeah,
sad.
the
We were
sorry.
expecting it because it's a nice heavy rocket, and I think it's been long awaited. This is going to be a massive addition to American rocket industry. Um, I think it's gonna be a great rocket
Mhm.
once it's gonna be operational.
And who knows when will be it operational, but yes,
Yeah,
hopefully this year, because it
yeah.
was delayed so long ago.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't know when should have been introduced, but not this year, maybe 5 or 6 years ago already, or maybe even more,
Yep.
because it was introduced back in 2015, I guess. That was the
Hmm.
first news when Jeff Bezos himself introduced the new plans about New Glenn. But yeah, so far, or by now, it wasn't actually introduced with the launch. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's a bit sad because Blue Origin will be 25 years old this year, so quarter decade old, and two years older than SpaceX. And just compare the two companies where they
Yep.
have been so far gone. So a bit
Yeah.
difference about the two companies.
Yeah, and Stephen Lewis was saying no Glenn, and
No,
actually
Glenn, right?
there is a massive or blue origin like blue, like blew up. There is a this is never ending story, and there's another
Don't
huge.
trust them.
Yeah, there's another big fear, to be fair, about amongst the community, that there is this new platform, Jacqueline, and if they are going to take their time too much, can we have back the photos, please? Then so here is thank you. This is Jacqueline, and I think a lot of people are fearing that it will come back with a Falcon 9 on top of it. So it's a realistic fear amongst the community. So let's hope this is not going to happen. Okay, jokes aside, we're really expecting this rocket to be launched. We would like to see that because it's a capable rocket, and this is a reusable rocket. Every step towards reusability is a great step into the future. So yeah, let's hope that soon we are going to see this rocket introducing to the market, and then more to come. We have the Escapade mission. They are going to have the what was it? The Pathfinder one mission
Right.
towards the moon. So yeah, they have massive plans. We got some Hungarian artists who are making some great renders of the blue moon. This is made by Zsolt Kovács, and he made this beautiful render. So yeah, lots of plans. Hopefully they will be accomplished very soon, and we would like to see Blue Origin finally stepping up and doing what it's intended to do, because it's part of Artemis as well. This is going to be nice, and we would like to believe that this is going to succeed at some
Mhm.
point. Yeah. So
Okay, maybe that was enough for Blue Origin
yep.
topic, and we can turn to the Starship, because that's why we are here actually.
Hmm. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Let
Yeah, but
me just show.
the common thing that maybe, as you know, that Starship has not been launched either. However,
Yes.
we thought so last Monday that until today we will be more rich, or we will be richer with one more Starship flight, but
Mm-mm.
the life thought different. And
Yeah,
and
life had other plans,
yeah, right.
for sure.
or SpaceX had different plans as well. And yeah, the current timing for Flight 7 is no earlier than Wednesday, Starbase time 4 p.m. From 4 until 5:38, I guess. So there is a bit more than 1.5 hour launch window on Wednesday. So yeah, that's the current plan. But looking for on the weather forecast, it won't be real, I guess. So maybe a very few people think so that it can be launched on Wednesday, because it will be rainy, windy, cloudy, so everything but what we can expect.
Hmm. Everything, everywhere, all at once, as we were
Right.
talking before the live show. Yeah, it's not good. A lot of people don't really understand why they pushed it from today, because today seems to be a good day for launch, except for New Glenn. But it looks like that they could have launched it. At some point, there were some events going on. So on Saturday, so they had the first of all they had the wet dress rehearsal,
Hmm.
and that kind of went really well.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It looked nice, and once it was successful, then suddenly they just removed ship 33 from the booster, and that was kind of a little bit unexpected, I think.
Yeah, they restacked the full stack. We don't know why, but there were some cherry pickers.
Destacked. Hmm.
Yeah, destacked. Sorry. Yeah, it was
Hmm.
first destacked and then restacked.
Yes. Hmm.
So yeah, there was the weather dress rehearsal on Saturday, and after it, the ship has been destacked.
Hmm.
With no reason, but there was an inside info that there was some minor problem with the ship, but we could see some cherry pickers around the booster, and that's why we could we could think that both of the stages had some problems, but they were minor. So that's why SpaceX has restacked again on Sunday the
Hmm.
ship, but until that they have confirmed that they don't go for the launch attempt on today, actually, so on Monday. So they require 2 more days, and yeah, that's a bit surprising, because so far what we have seen, they didn't require more than 2 days at least after the final restack to launch the Starship. And now we can see that it will be at least 3 days or even more after the last restacking, uh, the between the restack and the launch. So that's a bit surprising. But when we just checking the background, that's a new block to Starship, and maybe that's why they require more time to check every systems and every hardware things and so on. That's the only thing I can imagine why they delayed the launch with 2 days.
I This is my favorite. So this is the disconnect, quick disconnect arm, right?
Hmm.
And it always reminds me. I think everybody who likes science fiction knows exactly where we are heading with this. So yeah, that's actually looks way too like the face grabber from the Alien series.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to show you guys some cool photos because there's some really nice comparison between the two ships, and I really do like the heat tile system.
Hmm.
And the reason why I wanted to pull this in is because it looks like when they removed it, they did not really do anything serious repair on ship 33 or anything to do with the FTS, the flight termination system. Instead, they were doing some stuff with the cowbell
Hmm.
on the booster, and also they were doing some stuff with the ship. They were actually painting on the side. this rectangular shape or square shape, I don't know, area. That's probably just finishing the heat tower system.
Yeah, and when we once we are here at the topic of the heat shield, then it's quite interesting that some of the heat tiles are missing, but it's deliberately they have done so. So it's for checking or testing how ship could survive if it would lost so many tiles. So it's a test,
So
and
so this is the one we see here,
yes,
right?
what they are, these darker dots or spots,
Mm-hmm.
that's the area where these tiles are missing. But one again, it's deliberately done.
Yeah, yeah. These. It's interesting. I was expecting this sort of explanation because you can see it's quite symmetric and systematic. So I kind of assumed that there is a reason why they removed them in this manner, and also they again removed two at the bottom.
Hmm.
This is now becoming a tradition. It looks
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, what if we can see the pattern, it's for example the oxygen tank, the bottom at the top of the oxygen tank, the bottom of the top of the methane tank, and so on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So and yeah, of course, on the nose cone there is no pattern, or
Mm-hmm.
uh, I don't know, or we don't know why they have removed the tiles in this manner.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Um, Guys in the chat, if you have any questions, please send it to us. Tag us in the chat, and we are trying to answer to our best knowledge. Of course. Yeah, so we're still looking forward to this flight because this is a very, very important qualification for the second generation ship, the
Hmm.
Block 2, the Block 2 ship.
And
Because,
maybe yeah, sorry, go
no,
on.
go on. No, no, go.
And maybe that's the very last suborbital flight of the Starship program,
Mm-hmm.
and the next will be the first uh, really orbital flight, because so far the starships or the ships themselves have done these suborbital trajectories. But as Elon mentioned, um, after the flight 6, which was quite successful in every case, or from every point of view. So Elon mentioned that if this flight 7, so the ship 33, will be successful like the previous sister, the ship 31, then the next flight could be, so the flight 8 could be the first orbital flight, when and of course that means that the ship 34 will be the first to be catched, and that will be quite interesting.
Yep. Um, there is a question. Not sure if you do know the answer. Stephen Lewis is asking, do they still have to align the ship engine chill vent pipe to the booster, or did they move it?
That's a good question, and I don't know the answer.
Mm-hmm. That's a clear answer. To the booster. Good question. I assume that because they've done a successful bed rest rehearsal, I can
Hmm.
only imagine that everything is according to their plans or everything within marginal operation. So I think it's good. But again, we are speculating. Wish we would know. Phil is asking, what will Starship look like in a year or two? Good question. We only have the rough idea that where they are heading, and purely because usually they have these presentations and they share all kinds of information about where things are heading. So if I pull in this photo, we know that they are aiming for a 70-meter tall ship.
Hmm.
So that's definitely a way forward. Do you think that they're gonna stretch the tanks as well, or is just the payload bay gonna be stretched out?
I guess both, but
Both.
mainly the payload bay will be stretched, but maybe that requires the stretching of the tanks.
Mm-hmm.
But let me just checking, because yesterday there was a quite interesting Elon reply on X that he wrote for somebody. I don't know, I don't remember for who, but Elon mentioned that maybe Starship will be even more taller with 10 meters, about 10 meters. Then they go for the diameter grow diameter. So they go for a bigger
It's gonna be
diameter.
wider. Yeah.
Yeah, wider,
Mm-hmm.
yes. So
Mm-hmm.
this 9 meter wide Starship will be maybe a day the past, and
Yep.
it will be a bit even bigger and wider Starship. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I just mentioning, because this about 70 meters ship maybe it won't be real, and it will
Mm-hmm.
be just quotes just about 60 meters, but it will be even bigger for the Block 3 version. But for
Mm-hmm.
now, as you can see, the V2 or the Block 2 version is about 52 meters long.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they change all the time the plans. So that's why it's unexpectable what SpaceX will decide, or how they will decide it. And
There
that's why
is
it's very hard to answer how Starship will look like in 1 or 2 years. It will be
there's
much
a
bigger, that's for sure.
And apart from the size change, Phil is touching on a good point. No tiles, they will use more of a wrap. No, but they are experimenting some sort of new cooling system, and that might be revolutionary if they really go with that. Nobody knows exactly what sort of direction they are going to head.
Mhm.
One speculation is that they are going to have this metallic coating with some holes on it, and they're actually going to vent some fuel or some sort of gas, and that will create a film around the ship during re-entry. That's one sort of solution. It's gonna look more like this. And then the other solution is the oh, what is it called? Yeah, it's
Yeah, the
written on the
regenerative cooling, yeah.
yeah, regenerative cooling. That's another way how they usually do with the rocket engines.
Mhm.
Um,
And actually, one tile is
mhm.
brand new, but it's only one tile on the ship 33, which is which got an active cooling system, and we don't know the exact way of the active cooling, whether it's some liquid or some gaseous cooling system. But maybe after the Flight 7, SpaceX will give us some information, and we will be clever, more clever.
Why I find it a little bit weird is because this is made from some sort of metal that nobody knows exactly
Mhm.
what kind of metal, so that should sort of stand out from all of the tiles. And okay, we did not check all of the tiles one by one, but that should look a bit different. That should not be black. And I didn't see anything standing out so vividly from the heat tile system on that photo. So I only wonder exactly which tile it's going to be. We will see. Maybe one of
It's
these
hidden.
two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it can be, of course.
maybe that one. I don't know. I really don't know. But that should look
Yeah,
somewhat
none of
different.
them seems to be
No,
metallic, from metallic
no.
um,
Color.
material, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
but
question.
it was on the website of SpaceX, so we can consider it as a as an official information that
Absolutely.
one of the tile is from metallic material, and it has a cooling active cooling system to be
I
tested.
agree. I agree. I
So
agree. But the fact that they already put one, and Elon was really kind of denying that they are going towards this direction, I think it's fantastic because it shows that they are really not because we're not surprised. I mean, they are doing some old style 1960s sort of development, hardware development. That was probably the last time when we saw this radical, iterative development style, that they just break the hardware towards the failure point, and then they follow from there. So it's not a surprise, but still, I mean, just imagine how much time and effort went into this TPS system,
Hmm.
and they probably in a year time or two they're gonna come out with something completely revolutionary that never been seen before.
Yeah, we have talked about a lot about the tile protection or the heat shield itself, because the current solution is not it's not for a long time. So maybe they can reuse it for a couple of times, but for longer time, or I don't know how many, I don't know, just let's say 25 launches or flights, maybe they couldn't use it. So, and it would be all the time a very big task and very big work for the engineers to check one by one each of the tiles, and like in case of the the shuttle area, sorry, when it took so long time to check one by one each and every tiles, and change or yeah, replace it when it was required. And of course it's not a feasible solution for SpaceX, because they want to reuse the starships quite regularly and frequently. So
Yeah.
currently types of tiles do their job, because the ships fly one time, but maybe in a couple of years it has to be changed, because
Yeah.
yeah, maybe this metallic material and the active cooling system would do the trick. Who knows?
Hmm.
That's the iterative development plan, and
Yeah.
that's why we are looking for the next couple of flights, because when this only one tile will be working, and it will be a good solution, then maybe we can see in the quite near future much more difference between the ships.
Yeah. So this is our relaxing moment now in the stream. Everybody think about something nice, music. You can go om or something like that. This is mellow out. Beautiful shots anyway, from the Y team. Okay, let's follow these questions. Phil is
Okay,
quite active and he's asking really good
that's good to see.
uh, questions. Okay. Let's follow with this. How does SpaceX protect their technology from being stolen? I do not think that they are protecting. I mean, obviously they're protecting it to some level, but I think Elon Musk's plan was always regarding to Tesla or the Boring Company or the solar company or even the rocket technology, that sooner the industry is moving towards reusability, the better.
Hmm.
So I think they are obviously they're not highlighting or advertising the Raptor 3, I don't know, mechanisms inside, for instance, but they're not so secretive like any other company in the world. So we can see that everything can be followed by cameras here, and this could be unimaginable with, let's say, Blue Origin. it's 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 impossible. So I don't think they are hiding too much.
Yeah, Elon mentioned more time that okay, that's a Raptor. If you want to to
Copy it.
let's say
Yeah.
steal the plans, that's okay, it's here, you can make photos about it, and let's see how does it work. So
Hmm.
it's one thing that from outside you can see the solutions or the mechanisms, but the devil in the details as always, so it has to be work from inside as well. So that's why it's very very complicated to have been stolen everything.
Hmm. Yep. So I think, yeah, this is the direction. Also, yeah. When will Raptor 3 be used? Is development finished? Is Raptor 4 in the engineering department? So Raptor 4, no idea. I don't
Running
think
too
anybody
fast a bit.
knows. Yeah, exactly. Raptor 3 is at the moment at the testing phase.
Yes.
So they spotted some at McGregor. There was one with the serial number 4 on a horizontal test, and they were firing it up. So yeah, they're doing some testing, but when will it be introduced? What hardware?
Yeah, that's a good
Good
question.
good
Maybe first
question.
half of this year, but I'm not sure. That's an guesstimate.
Yeah, there is no such public information about that.
Yeah.
Um, Matt probably nothing says that over 80% of critical technologies, theoretical researches, material development, aerodynamics, avionics, even computing software systems have gone into developing Starship have no USA origin. I think we talked about it at some point that there is nothing like hugely revolutionary about Starship. So they are using the same type of engines than before. Okay, it's a full flow combustion staged engine, right? Did I say
Hmm.
it right? So they mastered this definitely to a really good level. But grid fins, Russian rockets have grid fins going way back in history. Flaps, I think, if nothing else, shuttles had some aerodynamic surfaces. Um,
They were a bit different, yeah. But I I
yeah,
don't
hot.
I don't think so that we can call them flaps.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Maybe
I mean
wings.
aerodynamic surfaces. Let's
Yeah,
just call
that's
them.
that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Hot staging again. Russian rockets has been doing this for quite a long time now. So yes, that they don't do anything like super new. That's for sure. Let's go back to the live camera, I think, because I don't have any other slides to show, if possible. So yeah, in terms of technology, they just putting things together very well, and they use it very well, and they organized it, and they're very creative, I think. So yeah, I agree. I agree. I don't know if it's Operation Paperclip. I mean, that's been a while. That's You're talking about 1945. Yes, commonly known that some rocket
80 years ago.
scientists,
Yeah.
yeah, just gone to the USSR and some went to America, and then quite some time passed since. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
but that's not the history channel, so we don't want to go into the history. That's a
yeah.
different story. All right.
And I definitely wouldn't call them thieves. I mean, come on, really? Come on.
No,
That's a
no, no,
really
no.
no. No.
That's your
That-
opinion, and
Well,
let's stay by that.
in that terms, all the Russian technology, are you calling them thieves as well? Because
Or
paperclip Operation Paperclip means that every technology was developed during the Soviet era was then thievery as well. I don't think so. No,
or
this is
if we think about the car industry, then everybody has stolen from Ford or what? So come on.
yes, yes.
Or yeah, if we are agree, then everyone has stolen from
Yeah.
Ford since I don't know the very beginning of the 20th century, so more than a
Mhm.
century ago. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
just
I don't
just
think
we
so.
can we can we can we can skip this topic because it's of course everyone can have an opinion, but yeah, maybe we don't have to comment it.
Yep.
All right,
Um, has
between
there
yeah
been
yeah.
has there been talk yet of adding another booster stage? I don't think so. I mean, isn't it tall enough? This is the tallest rocket ever
Yeah, and
with
it will be
its
even taller.
Exactly.
when when we follow the current plans. But yeah, maybe we cannot follow them anymore because they changing even more and more. But so, yeah, currently the Starship is 123 meters long or high.
Point
um
one.
point one, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Top,
So
top 10 tallest rockets. First three is Starship. Obviously, that's rubbish.
yeah, and just compared to the New Glenn, which is in the middle, and it's still the one of the highest or longest rocket ever made, and but
Yeah.
it's only 98-meter long or high. But yeah, actually compared to Starship is everything much smaller.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Um, there is no try. Who asked the question? He just added, or that person just added, it can't reach Mars without Mars without another stage, orbital refueling. That's the whole idea behind the Starship
Mhm.
concept. It's yeah, that's essential. We've been talking about this in the previous episodes. It must happen, and that will extend the capability of the vehicle, so that Moon and obviously Mars is becoming within our reach. But I do believe that on the long run, humanity need to develop a totally new technology, some sort of new drive. I'm rewatching The Expanse, the TV series Expanse, and it's great. It's really great, and it's one of the most realistic science fiction TV series I can highly recommend for everybody. And there is one bit when a guy developed a new sort of drive, and that enabled humanity sort of traveling within the solar system easier. Um, yeah, this is just not gonna be good enough. It's good for a start. It's good to sort of leave the cocoon of Earth, but yeah, I think more will follow once this revolution is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking about. Of course, we can compare the two rockets, so the Starship and the New Glenn, but maybe they are not competitive to each other because they have totally different reason to be built and
Yep.
developed. So that's why, of course, yeah, as I mentioned, we can compare them, but okay, maybe New Glenn could reach the Mars without refueling, orbital refueling, but that's one story. That the other story, what Starship is made for. So when SpaceX will build a fleet from starships, and they will have just a couple of hundreds, not a thousand um, member fleet, then it means still a very huge payload capacity. And yeah, maybe New Glenn could reach the Mars without orbital refueling, but it could just um, take with it just a couple of tons of payload. But compared to the Starship, it can launch, I don't know, more hundreds of payload to the Mars, and that's a very big difference. Of course, we know that it's requiring the orbital refueling, but once Starship will be operational and SpaceX can build even more and more launch sites, even on the seas or oceans, then they can launch them so frequently, then it won't be anymore a question how Starship can be operational or whether it will be a good solution. We will see. Of course, it's still at the very early stage of the development phase, and we have to be a bit patient and see how or where it's driving itself.
Mhm.
if you know what I mean.
I don't know. I mean, in the chat, the same person says that we are far away from orbital refueling. I don't know. I mean, SpaceX has really
Maybe
big
not.
plans for this year. Obviously, we don't know if it will go ahead or not, or how successful it's going to be. But definitely, they have some cool plans this year. They are going to have two launches when let's show some photos because we got some great renders regarding to this. They have some cool plans. The first half of 2025 that they're gonna have two ships launched almost right after each other, few weeks I think apart. One will be the Chaser and one will be the Target, and they are going to similarly, just like what they've done with the Gemini program or Gemini. I don't know how.
I don't
Yeah.
know all. I don't know. Sorry,
Anyway,
I have
yeah, it's a
read and
mystery.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I have heard the both of the
Yeah, yeah.
both
Let's
of
go.
the
I like Gemini. So the
yeah,
Gemini
better Gemini.
program. So they were actually practicing rendezvous. So two vehicles flying parallel to each other, approaching each other. We're gonna see exactly the same sort of program developing in front of our eyes, and this is all gonna happen this year, sooner than we expect. Obviously flight 7, flight 8 must happen according to the way that it's favoring the program, but then after the successful rendezvous, they will kind of have some sort of connection between the two vehicles, and then at some point they're going to do some fuel transferring. I think really cool things are ahead of us for 2025. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, apart from the fact that they have permission for 25 launches, it doesn't mean that they can just launch them willy-nilly, but they need special FAA license for every single flight, but they are allowed to launch 25 times this year. So it from 5 from 2024, now it's 25. So we will see some rapid increase in launching starships, I think, in the future. So I think we are so hopeful for this year. They just need to nail Flight 7, all the things that they set for themselves, from the dummy payload, and then they're gonna relight one Raptor engine again, and then we will see how the ship 33, Block 2 second stage going to re-enter, all kinds of things. Obviously, they try to catch a ship on Flight 8. I mean, this is gonna be a crazy year this year.
And it can maybe for some of the people it's a bit bumpy road still this whole Starship development phase, but just think about that. They are changing all the time the plans so quick then that maybe they doing or they how to say it. So they making their job even more um how to say it. How
I
so
don't know.
okay, never mind. Okay, I don't want to finish this story. Okay,
Dead end.
dead end, yes. So we
Sorry
will
for.
see, and if they don't fly 25 Starship this year, I guess we can be still very lucky, because if we
They
can see, I don't
won't.
know, 15, let's, or
Yeah, they
16
won't.
launches, then it's still much more than previous years. So, and yes,
Yeah.
as Sabi mentioned, for there are so big plans for this year that we can looking forward. So I
Hmm.
wouldn't be skeptic about the Starship, because they, of course, they need more time, and if they can launch them even more frequently, then they can move forward even faster and faster. Because
Hmm.
currently, yeah, there was a generation change, and that's why couldn't launch the Flight 7 so quick as compared to the Flight 5 and Flight 6. but yeah, that's normal, I think. And it's a very huge and a very complicated rocket, so it's not
Yeah.
like a suborbital rocket to go to the Kármán line and going back. So
Yeah.
it's a bit different story.
Yeah, a little bit. I really like this kind of renders. I just can't get enough of them. This is from I Am Visual. It has its flaws, but I just love. I don't know. I love the windows on Starship. Most likely, it's never going to happen. Yeah, Steven says it's a shuttlecraft.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it's mega beautiful. I love it. I so could imagine this happening, but as we mentioned, the tiling system might change a lot. The whole structure, maybe these windows going to be a reality one day, but the big windows, not entirely sure. Yeah, crazy good future, I think. Assembling in space is, I think they need to make first. Okay, this is the first step. They definitely need to make Starship a flyable, frequently flyable vehicle that can be launched as frequently as they are planning. Everything else will follow. If this won't happen anytime soon, then most of their plans are compromised. So I think this year it should be the year when actually we are going to see some major improvement in terms of
Mhm.
cadence. Let's not forget the Pad B is going to get finished within months. Then they're gonna do some testings, and then once the tests are finished, then they are going to do the first test flights, test launches from that pad. And if that pad is okay, actually, by the way, they started drilling in Florida, which is a very good, a very good
Finally.
sign. Yeah. So yeah, that's a good sign as well. And this year, probably, if the Pad B is going to get a green light, then probably then they are ramping up the construction works in Florida, and the bays are going to build in Florida because they cannot transport these vehicles from Starbase, so they must be built right there in Florida. Huge changes are ahead of us, I
Hmm.
think.
Yeah, this year will be a game changer
It must
from
be.
our perspective.
It must be. If
Yeah,
they have
it must be. Yeah.
really, yeah, they have really high plans, really ambitious plans, and according to achieve them, these things they must happen. So,
Yeah, but
okay.
with the delay of the Artemis 3 mission, maybe they have more time, and they can improve the Starship with a not so in a rush, let's say. Of
Mm,
course, we all know SpaceX and and their development method, but it was quite a very short time between nowadays and the Artemis 3 mission previously, because it was planned in September 2026, but it's, of course, it's not more valid. And yeah, I just have seen a quite good comment, and of course it's a big question mark how the new administration of the NASA will
mhm.
um, actually will follow the SpaceX steps, or how they will support them. I guess there will be quite a big support, of course, because Jared Isaacman and Elon Musk are quite good friends, and with Trump as well. But NASA cannot do miracles, so they cannot help a limit to the SpaceX guys, and SpaceX has to do their own job, and they can do a bit more difficult their own job with this very big rush. And that was as I was talking about previously, and I didn't I couldn't finish the sentence, but I can finish it now. So yeah, sometimes it looks like very difficult to follow. Yeah, this year will be this will be very, hopefully very successful. But what we can looking forward pretty much.
Yep.
That's all.
So okay, I wasn't sure if you finished. I didn't want to cut you off. There is no try saying everyone is underestimating what Bezos has built in JFK Space Center. I was just there. It's massive complex. It's massive complex. Much more manufacturing capability than Boca Chica. I highly doubt that. We've seen this.
Me
We've
too.
been in. Yeah, we've seen that in 2022. The facility was almost completely there, what's there today, and it's massive. I agree with you, but it's nowhere near as fast production capability, what they are sort of paving out for themselves, than what they are planning at Starbase. That's said by Jeff Bezos. It's not said by me. They are going to produce 5, 10, maybe upper stages per year, and then so I think they kind of going to be at a cadence of 5, 10, 15, maybe 20 launches a year, I guess. Definitely in the first few years. And if you see that what's going on in Boca Chica and what kind of production capability they are going to have and what they are planning, maybe
Yeah, the
for
Robert Ford
now,
facility.
yeah, maybe for now, one ship per week is far away, but that's the plan because it's so easy to assemble starships compared to the new Glenn. It's a completely revolutionary design, and I think if they are going to, because at the moment what's happening is at the moment they are trying to find out the final direction with the construction, with the design of a starship. Once they find it, and they only need to do facelifting and a little bit of development here and there, then they're gonna go for the production, and not
Yes.
at Starbase, at Florida.
Hmm.
Starbase is a development site, an R&D site. Florida is where I think we need to keep our focus, because Florida where they are going to do the mass production.
Yeah, the Robert Ford facility. Just looking at the base and the area what they are clearing right now. It's a huge and enormous site. It will be
Yeah.
much more bigger than the current Star Factory, which is still a quite huge factory already.
Yep.
But yeah, it will be, I don't know, 1.5 or maybe 2 times bigger than the current Star Factory. Just think about it. And of course, at the KSC, they will have even more space to build even more and more high base or mega base or giga base or terabase or don't know. So they
Whatever.
will have even more and more opportunity to to grow the site, because at Starbase, as you all know, it's a very limited area where they can build something, and they are quite heavy buildings, and it's totally not so yeah, it's they have to consider where to build and what to build, because here is very limited, but at the KSC it's a totally different story, so they have even more and more opportunity to build a very huge rocket facility where they can just build a starship, so entire starship, or at least the second stage in every 3 days.
Yep.
So it's a quite short period of time compared to
Yep.
the side of the starship itself.
Yep. Dash A drone is asking, what is the cost of a Starship launch? Is launch none of if I guess if none of it is reusable, or just the booster is reusable. At the moment, as we know that they are, if it goes ahead, then one Starship launch is roughly going to cost a launch of a Falcon Heavy, as it
About
looks.
that, yeah,
Yeah.
100
So
million.
that's about 110 million dollars. Let's just think about it, that at the current phase, or let's say the Block 2 version, is intending to launch around 150 to 200 tons to low Earth orbit. Now, if it comes to, let's say, expendable mode, because they really gonna go for it. I don't think they ever gonna go for it. Even the customer pays for it. But if they would choose that, okay, let's throw away the booster and the ship as well, then the Starship is over 300 tons of capability. 300. So the International Space Station is just over 400 tons. This vehicle is crazy, is unreal, right? And at the moment, for low Earth orbit, there's nothing going to be better than this at this cost. To go over low Earth orbit, then we need refueling, but we need to refueling anyway because we need to master this kind of action, because otherwise, I mean, how are we going to live in space? And I know that sometimes they do some sort of refueling on the ISS because they need to reserve some fuel here and there, but this is nothing like on a Starship scale.
Yeah, and just looking at the orbital uh, in orbits, maybe not in not every case will be the Starship the best solution or best
Mhm.
choice, and that's why we have started with New Glenn. That it's the U.S. in the space industry needs the New Glenn as a good alternative,
Mhm.
especially for the GTO, so the geotransfer orbit, because in this compared to the Starship, for example, the New Glenn will be maybe a better choice or better um, yeah, solution for the GTO instead of the Starship because of the much easier way to send the payload to this orbit, or exactly a geostationary orbit. So yeah, and it's all the time a good thing when not only one company and not only one rocket is a, let's say, a king on over everything and everybody. So that's why the US and maybe the whole world needs the New Glenn as well as a as an alternative, as a competitive rocket, not compared to new Starship, but for example with Falcon Heavy, with Vulcan, maybe with Neutron, let's say. Yeah, because yeah, just mentioning a bit the Rocket Lab, they want to introduce their new rocket, so the Neutron, this year as well. So that's why it's an even more exciting year, not only because the Starship, but because of the other things in the US space industry what's coming up.
Feels as by the time the launch, it will be old Glenn. I
Yeah.
love the chat. Thank you guys for making this a much easier ride. I love
As
it.
Felix always says, you rock.
You rock. Yeah. All right. This was us for this year. Sorry, this week. This year. This was us for this week. Thank you very much for tuning in. At some point, we were like 300 of us, which is definitely a record-breaking number of viewers. I hope that we hope that you really like this kind of talks. I mean, despite our language barrier, we try our best and we're trying to improve in the future. But I think something is really connecting. There's a connection within this community, and obviously that's space flight and rockets. We all love them. So definitely, we are coming back every Monday if possible. We will be here. Let's hope next week when we come back, this full stack won't be here. We don't want it to be here because
Please, please, please.
we want it to be gone for good, because we need to go ahead with this kind of test flights. So yes, let's hope that Wednesday gonna go ahead. At the moment, we don't think so. The community doesn't look like they think so, because the weather just doesn't support Wednesday. They should have launched it today. They didn't. That's now, happening. So today there won't be any launch. Wednesday we will see. If nothing else, the weekend looks somewhat favorable. I can see the cherry picker in the meantime came down, so probably they checked if the horizon is still there, or probably there were some flat earthers trying to find out if it's really flat or not. Anyway, jokes aside, thanks very much for staying us this Monday. I hope you had a good time. We definitely want to be back and tell us what you think. Ask your questions, because you can see you are giving us some good questions we can chew on and we can talk about. And it's so much easier to have a good chat if you guys are here. So we are expecting everybody back next week, right?
Well said. Yes.
Well said. All right. We see you next week. We want you to be back and stay tuned. Definitely subscribe to What About It Plus. Also to What About It. They are going through the roofs, basically. The views, the Tuesday and Friday episodes from Felix are really smashing. They're really doing very well. You never forget to hit the like button, because that goes a long way. It really helps the analytics and for the channel to grow. Yeah, we see you next Monday. Nothing further ado. Have a lovely week and have a crazy good flight 7. And if I would be Scott Manley, I would say fly safe. All right, have a good
Just
week.
fly, please fly.
Have a good week. See you guys. Bye bye.
See you. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye bye.